The legal troubles for longtime entertainment mogul Sean Diddy Combs have been building for months, including allegations of sexual misconduct, abuse, and violence. Now, the iconic rapper and producer is in custody in New York City in connection to an ongoing investigation by Homeland Security. The charges were not immediately known, but the hip-hop star has been the subject of a months-long federal probe led by HSI since last year. In March, we saw these dramatic scenes unfold, where agents raided his homes in LA and Miami in connection to a possible sex trafficking probe. CBS News legal contributor Jericka Levinson.
This type of months-long delay is not unheard of. So you execute a search warrant and then you spend a lot of time going through all the evidence to determine if there's enough there to bring charges.
The three-time Grammy winner became the subject of disturbing accusations starting in November when his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, filed an explosive lawsuit alleging Combs raped, physically abused, and sex trafficked her during their relationship. The two settled the next day, with Combs denying any wrongdoing. But in May, disturbing surveillance video surfaced of Combs violently assaulting Ventura. Since November, Combs has been hit with several more lawsuits with similar accusations, all of which he has denied. In a statement, Combs' attorney said in part he is an imperfect person but is not a criminal, adding he has been cooperative with this investigation and voluntarily relocated to New York last week in anticipation of these charges.
If there was, in fact, a conviction on federal sex trafficking and or racketeering, you could see a sentence that is in the double digits. You wouldn't be looking at something like parole.
So once again, we're waiting for that indictment to be unsealed. It could happen at any moment now. And something else important to know, Anne-Marie, that we've learned from sources is that while there is no connection between R. Kelly and Sean Diddy Combs, Homeland Security investigations took the lead in that case regarding R. Kelly, also taking the lead in this case. There are some similarities when you look at sexual assault accusations and racketeering possibly. We will, of course, know when that document is unsealed and bring it to you as soon as we hear the very latest. But again, no connection, but it's interesting that both of those cases headed up by the Homeland Security investigations. We're just learning that from sources.
Yeah, that gives us a tiny little hint as to what he might be facing. Jericka, thank you so much.
Yeah,
very serious. So speaking of that, we are joined now by Rich Schoenstein. He is a trial attorney and partner at Tarter, Krinsky, and Drogan law firm. Thank you so much for joining us. So you heard Jericka talking there. We don't know the specifics of the charges that Sean Combs is facing. The indictment is sealed right now. It will be unsealed, but we know we're talking about a federal prosecution here. She mentioned that Homeland Security was taking the lead in terms of the investigation. He's being processed in Manhattan. So then walk us through how things will sort of unfold over the next 24 hours, or the next few days. And I presume he's been in custody this whole time, right?
Well, yeah, I think he's been in custody since he was arrested last night. And what we're going to see next is a court hearing today, the unsealing of this indictment, which will tell us exactly what he's charged with and what the factual allegations are. He may be asked to plea, and importantly, there'll probably be some discussion of whether or not he can be released on bail, which I expect the government to oppose, given the seriousness of these allegations and the fact that he's a potential flight risk. But all of that's going to come up pretty quickly because he's going to want to get out of jail.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very wealthy man, so that bail will have to be very, very high if you want to keep him there. Based on your experience with cases in federal courts, how serious could these charges be? And how can we expect, well, we heard a little bit from what Combs' lawyers have said, which is they feel this whole thing is unjust. But what sort of charges could we be looking at? How serious?
Well, I think the charge is going to be very serious. I mean, first of all, you don't go after somebody like Sean Combs unless you have very serious charges to bring. You know, the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York is not messing around. So they think they have a strong case. They think they have evidence. And we've had a sneak preview because for months we've been seeing these various lawsuits. You mentioned Cassie, which was quickly settled. There have been others. So we know there are going to be allegations of sexual assault. There are probably going to be allegations of sex trafficking. I wouldn't be surprised to see racketeering allegations and allegations of other assorted criminal activity. I expect this indictment to be very provocative and very disturbing.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Rich Schoenstein, thank you very much.